And we'll get started. So, hello. How is everybody today? We are going to choose you in 22. So I'm excited to do this presentation for you today. It's very exciting and to get into our messaging. So we are a group that truly empowers individuals to invest in themselves and their overall well-being in pursuit of living their best lives. So to introduce myself, I'm Kelly Springer. I'm a registered dietitian and the owner of Kelly's Choice. And it's amazing of what we're able to do with nutrition. And just to give you a little bit of background on how we empower individuals is at Kelly's Choice, we have three pillars of our business. The first one is worksite wellness. So a lot of you are coming to us today through our worksite wellness. We have over 17,000 people that are part of our community on that worksite wellness journey. And through that, we're able to empower people through videos and newsletters and blogs and get them actually on our healthy platform, which we'll be talking about in a little minute. And then also our second pillar is private practice, probably one of my favorites. I love working on a one-to-one basis with with the patients, and our registered dietitians are incredible at working with patients and that one-to-one nutrition education, and then also media. So we get to work with tons of food brands. It's really fun. I see that Gretchen is on with us today. She helps us with that as well. So really amazing to get that going. So let's get going through. All right. So basically chronic disease in America. So what are we talking about here? And I don't want to get to be Debbie Downer by any means, but basically when we look at these numbers, they're huge. Okay. So just focusing in on diabetes, let's just focus there for a second. So when we actually look to see how many people actually have diabetes, 34.2 million Americans. That's enormous. That's 10% of our population. And type 1 and type 2 are very different, but the majority of this number are coming from type 2 diabetes. And in most cases, type 2 diabetes can be prevented. And also, as we now know through going through our amazing platforms, that we are able to actually lower hemoglobin A1C and get people into their normal level of hemoglobin A1C, basically reversing type 2 diabetes. Also, the same way with hypertension, obesity, high cholesterol levels, we're able to prevent and reverse these chronic conditions. So amazing. So this next slide gets into the cost. And I want to focus because it's a very busy slide, but there was so much information that we didn't want to leave anything out. But where I want to focus is how right here with the little piggy bank, okay? I want to focus here because when you invest even $1 into actually helping in the way of nutrition, movement, or also preventing tobacco use, just $1 has a 5.6 return on investment. So all the time I hear from work sites, from HR and business owners, what is your return on investment? It's right here. So if we were able to invest just $10 per person towards improving nutrition and physical activity, we could save America that much money. Look at this. Look at that. $16 billion. Okay. So the return on the investment is real. And this could just this one single presentation today, you're going to get some information that you can put into real time. But I want to show you the impact that even our 15 dietitians are having on our medical dollars. Okay. So really and truly, we have the ability with educating on nutrition education and physical activity to help our entire country. Okay. All right. So when we're talking about getting into reactive healthcare, this is where we are in today in America. Our system is reactive. People go to the doctor because they're sick. They're not going to prevent. And so when we're getting there, the patient goes in, oh, You have high hemoglobin A1C or a high glucose level. Here you go. Here's metformin. So we're getting him in there. We're getting him with insulin. And this is where the money just goes up and up and up and up. So we're not attacking the problem. We're not giving the education that is necessary to actually increase quality of life and help these other chronic diseases. So we want to change the conversation. We want to prevent these from even getting there. And if we are there, let's not start with medication. Let's start with actually going through nutrition education that can reverse these chronic disease for life. All right, so this is why with Kelly's Choice, we are choosing you in 2022. So we're going to switch this narrative. We're going to change the conversation, and we're going to talk about preventing illness instead of reacting to it. We're going to make sure that every person that we touch has the knowledge to make the choices that are going to put them into the way of good health. Okay. Without the knowledge, you don't understand how to put this all together. Okay. This is where we get into the confusingness of nutrition. So this is why truly we want to make sure we're influencing in the way of exercise, sleep, and fruit and vegetables. But the first time we have this amazing intern right now, her name is Sasha, and she helped us put together this presentation. And the first go round that she was putting this together, she just listed out all the things that dietitians always do. Like, this is the fruits and vegetables, and this is the exercise. And I was like, you know what, Sasha, I want to really talk about the reason why. Why do dietitians recommend exercise? Why do we recommend sleep? Why do we recommend fruits and vegetables? Until that patient or until that client understands the reason why they should eat an apple versus a bag of chips, once that reason is there, then they have an educated decision. That is the moment where the light bulb turns on. And yes, we are a dietitian group that believes in eating everything, and a bag of chips once in a while is not the worst thing in the world. However, once you understand the education, you are so much more likely to be able to make these changes and make them stick. Without the education, it's another fad diet. Okay. So we understand that the power of nutrition and prevention is huge. Really and truly, the research is behind us. Finally, I have been in this industry and working towards nutrition education since 1996. And for the first time ever, research is finally there to prove that healthy diets can actually help protect against chronic disease. So much research has come out about our digestive health, about type 2 diabetes and heart disease and hypertension. We now know and have the research behind us to show that programs like we have, the transformation program, have the ability and the power to reverse and prevent these chronic diseases. So what I want you to get from today's presentation is that you truly have the power to do this in yourself. So I just got off with a private practice person, and I told him I was going to be doing this presentation today. And he's on week 6 of a journey that we're going through. And he said, you have no idea how much what I have learned from you has helped. I now, and he used in his word, have the power to make better decisions. And so I'm like, I'm going to use that in my PowerPoint coming up. So it's really interesting that we just had that conversation. Okay. So again, we're taught to tell patients to eat fruits and vegetables. But again, why? Why are we saying this? Well, there's vitamins and minerals that are in fruits and vegetables that are considered essential. So what does that word essential mean? It means that your body cannot make these vitamins and minerals. We have to eat them from the diet to make sure that we're getting that all of our body systems are working properly. Now, for instance, if we don't have these vitamins and minerals coming from fruits and vegetables, we may not be able to blood clot. We may not be able to actually resist infections. Hello, we're in a pandemic. This is really happening in real time. We also may not have the ability to get the energy from these foods and keep ourselves healthy. So we say eat fruits and vegetables, but until we understand the reasons Why? What are antioxidants? How do they help fight free radicals? What does that mean in our bodies? So going through the nutrition education is going to help you to understand how these fruits and vegetables actually work in the body and why they are so essential. Also getting into balancing meals. So as you see here, we have the macronutrients, carbs, proteins, and fats. So many fad diets eliminate one or part of these macronutrients. Macronutrients are needed in the diet. If we are lacking in complex carbohydrates, in full amino acid profiles of proteins, and in healthy fats, we are not going to be able to do the metabolic pathways that our bodies need for everything from making red blood cells to creating cells. I mean, this comes down to a biochemistry, amazing science lesson, right? So it's actually mind blowing of having these macronutrients is so crucial. So any diet that tells you you should be eliminating carbs or eliminating fat or eliminating protein is truly a fad diet and will negatively affect your health. Okay. So by putting these macronutrients together and having the knowledge behind them all, you would be able to maintain blood sugar levels. And it also helped to reduce your risk of any of these chronic diseases. But again, it goes back to the knowledge of what are carbs? What carbs are the ones we're talking about to eat at a daily level? What are proteins? How do you get them in? So we work with people, young, old, yellow, brown, white, purple, men, women. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what socioeconomic level you come from, what state you come from. I'm telling you, people do not have the nutrition education to understand what we're talking about here. So breaking it down into small lessons with goal setting has helped to be extremely helpful. Okay, so getting into why we need whole grains and fiber-rich foods. So this is where it's really confusing. And they talk about fiber in almost every presentation that we do. So what we now know is that this gut bacteria, we have over 30 feet of digestive tract. And over this 30 feet of digestive tract, it is so impactful to make sure we have fiber sources coming in. Okay. Fiber helps to feed the 100 trillion bacterial cells that live there. Those bacterial cells can also help manufacture vitamins. They help with immunity. They help with metabolism, stabilizing blood sugar levels. So we need to make sure we have fiber-rich foods. So this is why when people come to me that have been on fad diets, like the keto diet or the Atkins diet or whatever diet out there, and they're not incorporating fiber into their diet, they are setting themselves up for major health conditions down the road. Fiber is crucial to our diets for so many reasons. One just being our gut microbiome. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're getting in fiber rich sources, including beans and berries and whole grains. These foods, getting in whole foods like beans and berries and whole grains, are going to ensure that our micro gut biome is getting what it needs. Okay. Also, right here, we need to make sure we get our probiotics. Probiotics are important as well to make sure we're feeding and replenishing that gut microbiome. So we love Lifeway Kefir for that, from making sure we get 12 live and active cultures. So having those live cultures as well as prebiotics from fiber are going to help to increase serotonin levels. Now, I've been asked a lot recently about, do we fall into the mental health capacity? A lot of work sites are looking for that right now because of stress at the work site, mental health issues. 100% nutrition is correlated, 100%. So what I mean by that is that we know that 90% of the serotonin, or happiness transmitter, is made in that gut microbiome. So making sure we have the probiotics, making sure we have the prebiotics, the food-rich sources are going to affect anything from anxiety, depression, even linked to dementia. I mean, so much of our mental health is correlated directly to the foods that we eat and the health of our microbiome. It's enormous. Okay, so we want to make sure we're getting a fiber-rich source. from our foods at each and every meal. So just so you know, the average American has about 5 to 10 grams of fiber a day, maybe less. We are recommending that you have 5 to 10 grams of fiber per meal, per meal. Okay, so getting into hydration. This is a big piece as well. I would say about 90 or higher percent of the people that I work with are dehydrated. They are not staying hydrated throughout the day. And this is a huge part of health. It actually helps to flush out toxins, supports healthy kidney function. It also helps carry nutrients and oxygen to trillions of cells in the body, helps keep our joints hydrated. It helps with digestion. So this is going to also help. We just talked about 100 trillion bacterial cells. It helps with their mobility and keeping them healthy. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're getting in enough hydration. How much? How much hydration should we be getting? Well, what I recommend is getting at least 70 ounces a day, 20 ounces in the morning time, 20 ounces around that mid-afternoon, 20 ounces in the late afternoon. And if you can do like 10 ounces at night, try to stop so you're not going to the bathroom all night long, but making sure that we're trying to get it evenly throughout the day. Now, about 16 ounces of coffee, I put in here with hydration. You can also have some teas. You can have water, you can have some seltzer. Just make sure we're trying to stay away from any artificial sweeteners at all, but really, truly trying to stay hydrated, okay? Also, we're trying to avoid foods that are high in saturated and trans fats. So Monday night, we got together with our amazing Dr. Voss from SU and also Dr. Kay Bruning. So we were actually diving into fats. And we're writing a book. So part of it is making sure that everything that we're saying is actually research-based and legitimate on what we're saying. So we got into this saturated trans fat conversation. And I think this is really confusing for most Americans. Why is saturated and trans fats not good for us? Why are we told to avoid these foods? Again, getting into the reasons why. What is happening here? Well, trans fats they tend to be very edgy and sticky and get stuck. This actually can lead to some plaque and buildup, okay? And same with saturated fats can lead to inflammation. Inflammation is the basis of all disease. All right. So this is where a lot of our animal fats, though, we got into this discussion because a lot of animal fats are actually very low in saturated fat. For instance, any of your game meats, like your venison, are very low. Your chicken, even your tenderloin or your 95.5 ground beef. There's a lot of very low saturated fat. So when we think about animal products, we're told to completely stay away. But again, the education, going back to how do we avoid foods that are high in saturated fats and trans fats? Well, a big part of this is stay away from processed foods. Processed foods tend to have more trans fats because of the way that it actually helps elongate the shelf life. So that's why they were done. Now, a lot of trans fats have been pulled out of these processed foods. There's still a little bit there. But if we stay away from more processed foods and go towards whole foods, that will actually help. Also, just sticking with lean animal sources, making sure that your dairy is 2% or less, and making sure your animal sources are all ways that we could actually reduce that. And then getting in some healthy unsaturated fats like olive oil, avocados, nuts, and fish. Artificial sweeteners. Back in the day, and I feel terrible, but when we first started in nutrition in the early 2000s, I worked in bariatrics, I worked in clinical, and we were giving artificial sweeteners to all of those patients. I wish I could go back, but that's what we knew at the time. Today, we know that they are causing inflammation in the body. As much as possible, let's cut out any of these chemicals, any chemicals out of our diet. We should not be eating chemicals. And I think most Americans would agree with that. That's probably not a good thing, but we're now realizing they're having more an effect than we actually ever thought. Okay. And then overconsumption on any one group. If you're overeating on fat, if you're overeating on protein, if you're overeating on carbohydrates, remember it is a balance. So every single time that we get off our amazing conversation with Dr. Voss and talking about biochemistry, it all goes back to balance. Every single time we meet, it goes back to balance. We want to make sure we're getting the balance of whole grains and carbohydrates, fats and proteins evenly throughout the day. This is what our body is craving. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're keeping that balance real. Anything out of balance is out of balance. All right, so considerations for these health to be healthy as well. Sleep is a huge impact as well. Sleep's tough. Sleep is tough. A lot of people are having a hard time with sleep. We do find across the board that when we actually increase our fiber rich sources, our lean protein sources, increase hydration, what do we find? We find better sleep. Okay. When people are living on fad diets or a high carbohydrate diet that is lacking in fiber, we tend to have a poor sleep. So, this is where understanding the correlation between nutrition in all of us. Also, exercise. We know that exercise, and we've been told this forever, can actually increase our health. It can. But when you're eating healthy, you're more likely to want to exercise, to get out there. So make sure you're moving your body. A lot of research, and I love always stating this, proves that you don't have to do 30 minutes at one time. You can break it up evenly throughout the day. You could do little 10-minute segments. It is just as effective as 30 minutes at once. Okay. So we have a story of two women work for company A. And the first woman says, I'm going to do my 10 minutes after breakfast, my 10 minutes after lunch, and 10 minutes after dinner. The second woman says, I'm going to do all 30 minutes after work. Well, what happens? Both women's children get sick, get the call from school. The first woman at least has 20 minutes in for the day. The second woman has no exercise at all. So this is where breaking it up throughout the day is going to ensure if anything comes up, which we know it does, that we're going to be sure that we're moving throughout the day. So really and truly try to move your body throughout the day. Also, alcohol consumption. What we now know from going with Dr. Baz on the alcohol talk, it was actually really sad. It was like at 4:30 on a Friday. Time you don't want to do that. But what we know from alcohol consumption is that your body does use alcohol as energy, and it will store what else you're eating with it. It also uses a lot of B vitamins. And so when we're using this, it can actually deplete our body. So make sure to enjoy alcohol moderately. If you're over consuming on it, could lead to weight gain and could also lead to other chronic disease. Okay. So the choice is yours. But we do know that it's easier to make the healthier choice if you understand the reasons why. Nutrition is such a huge topic, and it needs to be broken down into usable forms, mini lessons that have goal setting after each time. But you do have the power to take control of your own health and future. So small lifestyle changes are going to truly help you to reduce your risk of chronic disease. And it's going to help in all aspects of your life, from sleep to exercise. And all of these small changes are truly going to help you to feel better. It's amazing when we work with patients on that one-to-one and even through work sites that we get testimonials back that they have more energy, they feel better. Of course they do. Their bodies are happy and healthy. So this is where understanding and going through our platforms can be really helpful. So we want you to choose you in 22. This is your year. This is your year to get in shape. This is your year to feel good. We know it's been 2 years of really, really difficult times, very stressful times. Even at Kelly's Choice, we've had our most stressful year this year on multiple levels, from employees to different things that happened. So we know it's been a tough couple of years, and we are here to truly help you to choose you in 2022. Okay, so it's not a magic pill. It truly leads to knowledge and making sure that we are prioritizing nutrition to make sure we're living healthier, happier, and longer lives. Okay, so it's going to take day by day. So how do you start? So a lot of you on here are already on the Healthy platform. Healthy is our platform that we work with. It is our technology. So our platform is incredible. It has a way to track your food, track your exercise. You can message a dietitian, and we believe in real people promoting real food. So we have no AI. It is all real dietitians that are going to be communicating through your progress. So when you log your food and you log your exercise and you chat, you are chatting with a live, real dietitian. Just so you know, we set ourselves apart in that way. Also, through this healthy platform, there is videos and newsletters. You can book a private practice session with a dietitian. So a lot of things there too. If you're not on the healthy platform yet, you can reach out to us. You can go to kellyschoice.org and go to our contact us section, and you can reach us there. Also, if you want to book a private session to get started with our dietitians, our sideline number is listed there at the 315-710-0080. You'll get Stephanie, again, a real person who will get you in. And just so you know, we have 8 dietitians in with the Blue Cross Blue Shield plan, 8 dietitians in with United Healthcare and the Empire plan. We're in with Cigna, Medicare. So we really can work with your insurance to help you with private practice sessions. We have 15 dietitians out throughout the entire US that can help to meet your goals. We definitely have flexible hours to help accommodate your schedule. We also have telehealth, so you can do it right from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. And anyone that comes on with us with private practice will get access to the healthy platform. So you get that as well as getting your private practice. And we never kick you off. You are always with us. Okay. So reach out to us today to schedule that private practice session. You will not regret your decision. Our dietitians are incredible. You can also please follow us and tag us on social media, on Facebook at Kelly's Choice LLC, on LinkedIn, and also please follow us on Instagram. We are so close to reaching our 10,000 at Kelly's Choice _nutrition. We have tons of things that we're posting there. We'll be posting more education to come up as well. So we really hope that you can follow us today. We would love if you would go on to these platforms to follow us and reach out to us. We're trying to get into 1,000 companies in 2022 to impact their employees. We also, because we believe in population health, we are giving out our product to all families that sign on with us through Worksite Wellness. So for free, families, spouses, and children have the ability to get onto our platforms at no extra cost. So we truly believe in what we're putting forth, that we want everyone to choose you in 2022. And our goal is to educate the world on how we can put together nutrition education in a usable, impactful way. So make sure to like us on these social media, get in touch with us through kellyschoice.org, and also go to our sideline number if you want to book a private practice. So I hope you are inspired to reach out to us. If you know any work sites, just put us in touch. We are so excited to get our word out. And I appreciate everyone on the presentation today and anyone that is watching the recording. We are just very happy that you're here and took the time to listen to this presentation today. So thank you for being part of our community, and have a wonderful 2022.